Hello and welcome to busyworksbeats.com. I need you guys to smash that like button to keep these podcasts rolling and to join the fun and the enthusiasm for today. So today we're going to address the big elephant in the room. Why do producers hate BusyWorks Beats? And I mean specific producers, not every producer. I'm generalizing here. But why do producers, we'll put it in quotes, hate BusyWorks Beats so much? I have some concrete points here. I'm going to go through these. But if you don't know me, I'm Game from busyworksbeats.com. We train over 1 million producers around the world. Some are going to work with Drake, Kanye West, Post Malone, Ariana Grande, French Montana, Young Thug, Polo G, Trippie Redd, Lil Baby, J. Cole, Kendrick Lamar, a long list of other artists. So my first intuition about this and experience about this is the reason you see a lot of hate for BusyWorks Beats in general is simply because they're competitors. If you look at the main people with the megaphone, okay, it's most likely somebody who's trying to compete with what I do. Even if you go on Reddit, you want to have fun tonight, go on Reddit, type in BusyWorks Beats and see the posts that pop up. All of them are mostly presented as negativity. Why? Because these are people creating fake accounts or real accounts, whatever. They never have a face. They never have any linkage to their socials. You go on their thing, they post their post on Reddit, and they'll just say whatever about BusyWorks Beats. Oh, his whatever is whatever. Go to my site because I'm better, xyz.com. So it's just people throwing shade. It's, as they say in the dating game, it's dirty macking, as they call it. Okay, so you guys whenever you're listening to somebody speak about another person, ask yourself, is this information coming from a competitor? Because what people do in this space and in other spaces, in the presidential space and the marketing campaigns out in the world, they'll create what's called a narrative. They'll spin a narrative. A narrative is someone taking a fact, twisting the fact and perspective of the fact to create a storyline that benefits them. Okay, so that's what spinning narrative means. Now, I encourage you guys to seek facts first. Before you speak on anything, seek facts. And here's what they do in their content. For example, they'll give you 90% of the truth. They'll omit 10% of the truth. And then they'll present that as the truth. So that when you are listening to their stories and their perspectives, they're creating narrative. And the narrative twists the intent of the creator. Okay? So instead of lying to you guys, straight out lying to y'all, they will present, it's like putting, medicine in a brownie, but it's a toxic brownie. Okay? So they'll give you 90% brownie, and then 10% is the seed of doubt on the inside of that brownie. Okay? And that's their point, is they're trying to sow doubt so that garden over there becomes rotten. So now everybody flees to this garden because it has more green pasture, so to speak. That's what competitors are trying to do. They're trying to weaken the enemies, whether it's subconscious or conscious or intentful or not. That's what's happening to the core of things. Anytime you guys hear people's feedback, online blogs, videos, somebody's Reddit post, just ask yourself, wait, is this a competitor trying to talk down against another competitor? That's the first question you got to ask. Okay? I'm always open to feedback and I read comments here and there, but a lot of people are just emotional. They don't have anything to work with. Like, if you guys are going to give me feedback, which I would encourage in the comments below, give me something that you would like to change. And then we may or may not change it depending on the majority of what people say. Now, people are just like, oh, I don't like them. Okay, well, that's an emotional response. I can't fix somebody not liking me. Okay, that's just up to them and their personality type. So nextly, the reason producers hate BusyWorks Beats is I make stuff seem too easy. It sounds weird to say it that way. But for example, I learned this when I was learning coding. I was learning Python code and I was learning how to, code for the first time ever. I never coded, never even knew how to make a document before. I didn't even know what to do. I didn't know what an IDE was. I didn't know how to save the file. It was blank. My first thing was just blank and I hit save, .py. Okay. All I did was save a file. That was my first file. Now, the second file, I went to Codecademy. I started learning Python and I started learning, the microscopic components of coding. For loops, pardon me. While loops, for loops, lists, dictionaries, variables. I learned, operators. I learned different ways to, do different things in coding. And part of the coding was not just knowing what works. It was actually doing stuff wrong, correcting myself until I fully understood what I was doing in that specific piece of the course on Codecademy. Okay. And what I learned is that they teach you in chunks. The same way you don't feed a baby a steak, a well-done steak, okay? When you're learning, you have to learn in little tiny chunks and components. The moment somebody tries to teach me coding and they're using the Facebook, the meta source code, I'm going to be confused because I'm like, I don't know what all these variables means. I don't know what all these numbers mean. It's just confusing because there's no context as to the architecture of how the stuff works. Okay. So when I make stuff seem too easy, people brush it off as if they already know it. Okay. Because it seems too easy. But in fact, if I asked anybody on this, watching this video, do you understand phase? What about all pass filter, all pass bands, all pass filters? Do you even know what a bandpass filter is? Do you know phase rejection? Do you know wave interference? Do you know wave, positive and negative interference? Do you understand cycles? Do you understand harmonics, the harmonic series? I can go deeper and deeper and deeper and deeper and deeper and deeper into the meta layers. So what I'm saying is, because I simplify so much, everybody wants to learn up here. But if you don't learn the simple things, you can't stack the simple things to build complexity. Most beginners want to learn how to make stuff like Metro Boomin, how to make your beat sound like Kanye West. They're trying to learn this really complex thing. And I say, okay, let's break it down into little bite-sized pieces. First, you got to learn how to slide your 808. Actually, first you got to learn what FL Studio is, how to download it and install it. Okay, boom. Now we got FL. Now you need to learn the hotkeys. Then you got to learn sound selection, where to even get your drums. Then we talk about 808 slides. Then we talk about hi-hats. Then we talk about BPM. Then we talk about arrangement. Then we talk about, drum patterns. There's micro components to a Kanye West beat, a Metro Boomin beat. If every single video I made was showing you some top tier beat and trying to break it down, you can't feed a baby well done steak. Okay. Most people who come to this channel, we've trained over 1 million producers around the world. Most people who come to this channel are trying to get into music. If I started talking to them at a PhD level like this, I could show anybody how to make a chord. Close your eyes, pick a note. Okay, I just landed on the note G, for example. You don't even need to know what G is. I could show a beginner how to make a chord instantly. Let me turn this up a little bit, actually. Okay, I can show anybody, whether you're a toddler, as long as you know how to count, you can make a chord. So here is the root note, we call it. And just simply count up your keyboard. It doesn't matter if you even know the name of this note. Okay, so we landed on G in this case, just giving you guys reference at home. So the chord code for a minor ninth chord is 0, 3, 7, 10. I'm just gonna start in my root note. This is 0. The point of rest, I'm just gonna count upward on my keyboard until I finish that chord code. So 0, 3, 7, 10, 14. So this is 0. We're not talking about scale degrees, we're talking about integers here. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Play those three together. That's the first triad. That's called the minor triad, 0, 3, 7. Okay, let's keep counting. 8, 9, 10. That's the minor seventh right there, 0, 3, 7, 10. Let's add the 14 to it. 11, 12, 13, 14. I just made a minor ninth chord. Learning nothing about scale degrees, nothing about parallel modes, nothing about chord extensions. I didn't bore you to tears about the difference between harmonic minor and melodic minor and natural minor. I didn't go over the staff. I just showed you how to count with numbers on a keyboard and make a chord. And people are frustrated with that because musicians are like, no, you must teach them the scales, scale degrees, flat fifths, know when to position the third. I could talk to people like this. Okay, you want to make a minor ninth? Okay, play the root note, play the flat third, in this case, referring to the major, which gives you a 3, which is the minor third. Okay, now play the perfect fifth, which is 7 semitones up from the root note. Okay, I could talk to you in a different language, but when you don't know the language, you can't understand the concept. So me simplifying stuff to the core level frustrates people because they think that everything has to be complicated because that's how they came into learning something. No, you don't need to learn that way. It's confusing for a reason. It's because it's not well done. It's not taught well. So I teach it by omitting scales and omitting all the language. Can you count? If the answer is yes, we could start to make chords on the keyboard. I can show you how to turn those chords into melody. That's why people think I make stuff too easy. And the people who are at the top, they're like, that's wrong. Okay, I go, okay, if it's wrong, open up Silent, open up Serum, and you type in your minor third, you type in the octave, whatever that is. You can't type in octave and minor third into Serum. It goes by numbers. When you're sound designing, the semitone values, those are numbers. Wherever you are is 0. +1 is +1 semitone, aka a half step. +2 is a whole step. +3 is a minor third. +4 is a major third. +5 is a perfect fourth. +6 is a tritone. +7 is a perfect fifth. +8 is an augmented fifth. +9 is a major sixth. +10 is a minor seventh. +11 is a major seventh. +12 is the octave. What I'm telling you guys is that my system seems easy, but it actually defines everything about what other people understand. They just don't understand the layer beneath that. So when it's something that's introduced to them that's new or foreign, they reject it because they built their land on sand. They built their mind, their mentality, their practice on sand. They did not build on solid rock. The difference between, I wish I had stuff to like show you guys. The difference between what's hard, like this watch, for example, okay, and this recorder, you guys can hear it on the thing. Okay, this recorder is hollow. What I'm saying is it's less dense than the metal on my wrist. That's what separates a diamond from a plastic bag. You have more space in between. When Jesus said, don't build your house on sand, or, metaphorically speaking, it means don't build it on something that is hollow. You're missing the micro components that make it dense and full. Okay, and that's what most people do with music production. They'll learn intermediate stuff. They'll learn a bunch of intermediate stuff. They think they know it all, and then they stop learning. They think they know everything, and truthfully, they know nothing at all. And the people who study this deeply understand music theory goes so deep that it's almost scary. You can get to the point where you're almost defining the universe by studying music theory, because then you're studying frequencies, oscillation. Where does oscillation begin? What is resonance? You get really deep into music theory. You'll go into the fact that you're studying physics, really. Okay. And I make it look too easy. But the point is, most people need to come in. We need to show people, here's a for loop, metaphorically speaking. Here's what a variable means. Here's what a dictionary means. Here's what a list is. I don't go, hey, here's the Facebook code. We're going to break down how Mark Zuckerberg made the timeline by showing you guys an algorithm that takes 10 years to understand. Like, that's not how you teach a beginner. Okay. And that's why a lot of my videos are from the perspective of somebody just starting. And in order to teach that beginner stage, you have to know so much about what can go wrong that you could dumb it down and give people those micro components. When I was studying coding, I went, oh, you have to know so much to even teach beginner level stuff. You can't just go do this, because you have to show people where it can go wrong. You have to know the terminology of all the little things that are hard to define, like the word the. How do you define the word the? But metaphorically speaking, the same thing has to happen in the way I teach. So I make stuff too easy, and I think people take that as not good. If you look at any great music producer, okay, whether it's Timbaland, Metro Boomin, Kanye West, Ryan Leslie, shout out to Pharrell Williams, Scott Storch, Dr. Dre, whoever you guys love, Pierre Bourne, I'll shout out everybody. Southside, who else? Jay Dilla, Pete Rock. I know I'm going to forget people, Just Blaze, Havoc, who else? Q-Tip. Let me know in the comments below. I know I'm missing people. Ninth Wonder, Boy Wonder. I know I'm missing a ton of folks. Okay, but any producer you guys can name off the top of your head, the difference between me and them, and I'm not comparing myself with them, is that most experts up here, okay, level 4, there's 4 levels of competency, by the way. There's unconscious incompetence. This means you don't know that you don't know something. This is why beginners, they can walk into a jungle. They don't understand crocodiles exist, snakes exist. Like the dude, not to put him on blast, and this is no shade to the dude. There's a football guy right now who's super famous right now. He just won the Heisman. Somebody help me in the comments below. I forgot his name. And everybody around him is like, yo, dude, check who you're with, because you're going to be making it to the big time of the NFL. He's not listening right now. Okay. He's a person who is so naively walking into the jungle, which is the greatest stage on earth, sports. Okay. He's walking in, being the best of the best, walking in as the best of the best on the greatest stage in the world, naively walking into the jungle. He didn't prepare. He doesn't have a med pack. He doesn't have armor. He doesn't have weaponry, metaphorical weaponry. He doesn't have, the knowledge of the environment. He's walking in there blind, naively. And he doesn't think snakes exist, crocodiles exist, monkeys exist that can hurt him, parasites in the jungle, frogs, toxic things. So because of that naivety, that's what's causing, okay, overestimation of value, and that's actually called arrogance. If you look up the definition of arrogance, it means to overestimate one's value. Confidence is knowing one's value. Okay, it's looking at history to say, I've created this, and this. That's my resume. I'm confident to say that that is my value to the producer community. Arrogance is saying, I've never created value. Okay, and I want to assume a higher position even though I have not created value for the producer community. That's the difference between arrogance and confidence and humility. So that people understand, there's 4 layers, or 4 levels, I should say, of knowledge. There's unconscious incompetence, which means you don't know that. There's 4 levels of competency. You have unconscious incompetence. This means you don't know that you don't know something. You have conscious incompetence, which means you know that you don't know something. You know that you're ignorant of something. There's conscious competence, which means you know that you know something. And there's unconscious competence, which means you don't know that you know something. Most experts operate in the autonomous flow. Okay, they just do stuff on habit. And their subconscious mind is all wired. Everything's ready to go. Their brain has the neural pathways to just do stuff by least resistance. Okay, that's called unconscious competence. Now, when it comes to teaching you guys, giving a tutorial, they don't know how to articulate and slow down to go down to conscious competence where they can communicate what they're actually doing. Some experts don't even know the pattern of what they're doing. That could be a good thing. It could be a bad thing, because in order to duplicate oneself, you have to be able to communicate until you duplicate your knowledge into somebody else. And then you could scale up through teaching. So when people say teachers can't do it, it's actually the opposite definition. If you look up John Maxwell, his series, he says the level 5 of a leader is the teacher, because a teacher can duplicate oneself to then teach the next person, and the next person can teach the next person. And now they've multiplied their skills. So you look at the students more than you look at the actual teacher. Again, we train over 1 million producers around the world. Some have gone to work with Drake, Kanye West, Post Malone, Ariana Grande, French Montana, Young Thug, Polo G, Trippie Redd, Lil Baby, J. Cole, Kendrick Lamar, long list of folks. So we have to get good at communicating and becoming teachers so that we can duplicate. I can give that skill of like the chord code, how to make that chord starting from one random note on the keyboard. I can pass that to the producer number 2. Producer number 2 uses that to get a placement. Great. Now they could take that information, train the next person. That person could get opportunities. Great. Now they keep passing it on and on and on. And we've seen this happen from 2009 to the current day. You guys could literally see in history how this channel influenced people to help other people. And that's a fact. I'm not being arrogant. That's an absolute fact. Okay. That I'm speaking to you guys. And so most people think that they idolize these people who are at the unconscious competence level, but those people will never be able to, and I don't want to say never, but let's put it this way. Those people are most likely never going to pull it down to conscious competence and teach you guys. So it's up to people like myself who will teach you and show you why they're great. Timbaland, Scott Storch, Metro Boomin, Just Blaze, Ryan Leslie. I did a whole series. I didn't name it, but I called it like beat formulas, which I've had in the past before. But yeah, Travis Scott, all of the people that you guys love, I broke it down into a formula, showed you the concepts and stuff to do it. So the next reason a lot of people just can't understand why BusyWorks Beats is growing, it creates hate in their heart. When somebody can't here's the root of it, and I went over this in the producer diaries with Jay Cactus and Ocean and LLB. I said, when people can't understand why that person is successful, and it could be any person, not just myself, but any person is successful, they go, oh, that person must have done something bad, because if I'm doing everything good, they have to be doing something bad to get to that place, because I'm not in that place. So they demonize the outside group. Okay. It's a psychological mechanism used for in-group versus out-group mechanics. Tribalism, if we're getting down to the core. And when people can't understand my growth path on BusyWorks Beats, or how BusyWorks Beats got over 1 million subscribers, even though I have 6,000 plus free videos on YouTube, and they're complaining and they're like, oh, he shouldn't have X, Y, and Z, but they have 1 to 10 videos on their channel or less than 500. It's like they can't even begin to criticize if they don't have at least 1,000 videos. The reason people are in position is because they've earned it through merit most of the time. Okay. And that's something that we have to all comprehend. Whenever you feel envious or like somebody doesn't deserve something, just remind yourself that they did something that you are not willing to do or haven't done yet. Okay. And that's why they are where they are. They put in the cost, the sacrifice to get to where they're trying to go. Meanwhile, if you're trying to get where that person is, just ask yourself, what is the difference between where you are currently and then what has that person done to actually get in that position? If that means make thousands of videos every month, like you guys say, people comment and say I make too many videos. It's funny. I think that's hilarious. I try to do 10 a day, but that does not always get hit. Look at DJ Vlad's channel, for example. He has over, I want to say 3 to 4 billion views. I want to say 3 billion views or 4 billion. He has maybe 4 million subscribers. I checked his video release time. He does 13 videos a day, and they're less than 10 minutes, less than 8 minutes. 13 videos a day on average. I counted like maybe the first 30 videos. He probably does, on average a different number. But the point is, that's a lot of videos every single day. So when people tell you need to make one video a week, make it super high quality, value is not in the presentation all the time. Value is in the information. Value is in the approach. Value is in the knowledge. It's not in the video edit cuts. I'm not editing this video. If anything, I paused the video because my son was getting loud. But I'm not editing this video, putting in swooshes, underground music. I'm not putting in all these like transitions because the value is in the message. Okay? It's not about the swooshes and making you feel happy and hitting you with a random B-roll and then flipping over to your favorite producer because I don't have value and then coming back and then doing B-roll from a different angle and then coming back. Like all that extra stuff. Like imagine going on a date with somebody, okay, and you're like, yo, just got this Rolly. This isn't even a Rolex. This is a Belova watch, by the way. Got it from like K Jewelers or something. Like, look at this Rolly. Oh, back to what we were saying. Yeah, so I work with the medical field and, I'm just with and at night I go to the club and I just saw, who's at the club? I don't even know, celebrities. I saw a celebrity Z, Y, and X. Okay. And then they come back to the story like, yeah, so, I do work in the field. They're like, can you get to what you actually do for a living? You're just doing all this other stuff to like distract from the fact that you're not giving me value. Okay. So I focus on the value. Forget the pretty presentations and all that type of stuff. I even got the lights for you guys. I think. Oh no, I thought I left the lights on. It's so bright in here. But anyhow, so that's why they hate busy work speeds, because they can't understand the growth path and want to do the online thing. So a lot of industry producers specifically who have never met me, never talked to me, never had a conversation. Here's my approach with every single person in the world, unless they're like super aggressive, is I'm neutral with every single person, unless I've had a conversation with them on the phone, met them in person. I shouldn't have a stance about somebody unless they've attacked the producer community or attacked my brand in some way. I don't have a position against them. I'm neutral with every single person. Okay. And the problem is with industry folks, they try to separate, and I'm generalizing, I don't mean everybody, is if you guys truly ask yourselves, so what's the difference between somebody who's in our Discord right now, discord.gg/busyworksbeats, with less than 100 followers? They're super supremely good. I just read a DM with Sage and Izan. Okay. Or no, Ian. Wait, was it Ian or Izan? Now I forgot. It's Ian, I think. I was saying Izan, but it's Ian. Okay. I believe it was Ian and Sage. I might be saying that wrong. Okay. And that's a duo production team that is supremely good. Ian sounds like reincarnated Michael Jackson meets The Weeknd. Sage's beats perfectly complement that sound. They're a production duo that nobody knows right now. Less than 100 followers, probably less than 1,000 followers. And they sound better than everybody in the modern mainstream music. Okay. But nobody knows them yet. Okay. And so what I'm saying is that most industry producers, and I'm generalizing to all my industry producer friends, okay, or acquaintances. I don't really call people friends like that. Acquaintances, business acquaintances. The difference is that they have either, like MG said, they signed a contract or they're under somebody else's authority. I don't want to like bore you guys to tears about the mechanics of it. Most online producers are in their own world. Okay. That world is ruled by Apple, Meta, Google. I know I'm missing somebody. Apple, Meta, Google, and some other companies that are on top of the tech. I can't think of the tech bubble for some reason. Apple, Meta, Google basically run the internet. Okay. Apple phone is recording this. I'm on Google's YouTube and I'm about to post clips to this to Meta's Instagram. Okay. So they run the internet as you know it. Those are the tops of the pyramid over here. Now, the tops of the music pyramid is Warner, Sony, Universal. The difference between an online producer and an industry producer is that they operate underneath the ecosystem of different top corporations. So the people who sign those pub deals, who sign the record labels, the people who primarily deal with artists who are signed and have deals and all that deal flow, they focus over here. They answer to Warner, Sony, Universal. Internet producers. I don't know why it sounded weird. Internet producers, independent thinkers. Okay. We operate under technically Apple, Google, and Meta. Different power structure. Okay. What I've come to find out is that a lot of industry producers over here under Sony, Warner, and Universal want to do the internet thing. So all that, like, not lifting the, always hiding information back in the day of SoundClick and always talking down against online producers, because once they leave the online thing, they're like, oh, I'm better now. I'm an industry producer. I got my placement. Now I'm better than you all of a sudden just because I pitched my thing over to this company and somebody chose me. Like that doesn't change anything. Okay, that somebody chose you. In fact, if your future relies on somebody else choosing you, you're always dependent on somebody else. When you create your future, it's a whole different way of going about business. And a lot of people over here are getting frustrated with relying on somebody else to, be the opportunity. And they're trying to get into the online thing. And it's vice versa. Online people are trying to get into the industry thing. It's like the grass is greener type of thing. But all I'm saying is, most of the industry producers who don't like me simply are trying to do the online thing, but they don't know how to go about it. So they just demonize what they don't know. That's just the short of it. Okay, let's keep moving. I have like other points here I got to get to. Now, some people equate skills to success. If I said, hey, I need to master my guitar, somebody put I've showed a video about how to make guitar melodies, putting you guys onto this plugin called Veer 2 Acoustics. Okay, I just wanted to put you on a dope plugin that sounded good. Somebody put in the comments, why can't people just learn to pick up a guitar, pick it up and learn? I'm like, okay, for one, you have to have a microphone. You have to have a good room to record, and you have to be quiet most of the time in like a residential area. So I have a son that sleeps literally on the opposite side of this wall. I will wake him up if I start playing acoustic guitar in my room. 2, the room is not treated for recording acoustic guitar. 3, sometimes I make too many errors. It takes too much time to simply play a simple chord and doing whatever I'm trying to do. Maybe it takes 2 years to learn a technique. I'm like, you know what? I'd rather just program the MIDI instead of taking 2 years to figure out how to do a hammer-on back-to-back. Like, instead of taking 2 years to do that, I'd rather use the plugin called Veer 2 Acoustics. And a lot of people equate skills. Like, me becoming a master guitar player does not mean I'm going to grow my brand online. It does not mean I'm going to get YouTube views. It doesn't mean I'm going to build an email list. It doesn't mean I'm going to make products. It doesn't mean I'm going to learn how to build a community on Discord. There's different skills for different things. And I think people equate becoming better at the craft as being better at the business. That is absolutely not true in this music business. You're going to get advice to just make better beats, just make better product. Maybe as a baseline, people are saying that you're not even at the baseline level. Like I said, Vlad puts out 13 videos a day. If I don't at least put out 10 videos a day, why am I complaining about my results? If, what did I say earlier about the video? Oh, if I have 6,000 videos on my YouTube channel and we have over 1 million subscribers and somebody's hating because they don't have 1 million subscribers, do you even have at least 1,000 videos? Like, you can't even begin to start critiquing until you've done the work. Okay, and then you could talk. Okay, so I think a lot of people are equating and correlating skills that do not translate to success the way they define it. Okay, me becoming better at guitar does not mean people are going to just magically open up YouTube videos in that case. It just doesn't correlate. It doesn't add that much value to the conversation for you guys to actually care that much. Okay. And I kind of mentioned this before, but people spin narratives, usually competitors. And I will read some Reddit comments just for fun. Okay. They want attention. They want to be what's called a contrarian because the black sheep usually creates contrast. And it's all about group dynamics, out group, in group. If I want to be against the beginners of the producer community, I'll say BusyWorks Beats stuff sucks. And then now I'm like, okay, I'm not a beginner now because I rebelled I've flipped polarity against that group. Now I'm out of the group. Therefore, I'm the opposite of the group. Means I'm good. It does not mean that person's good. They're just trying to do that psychologically to justify their identity as a person in this community. And, I can get into the other points. Never done it. I don't know what that means. Never done it. I don't know why I wrote that, but I'll probably get to it in these comments. And then think they know it all. I told you guys the 4 levels of conscious incompetence. Okay, or competency. So let's go to Reddit real fast. This is, a fun little exercise. Let's read some of the comments. Now, one thing I take about comments is if a comment has information, like things I can build off, I'll take that. I'll put it into my catalog of stuff that could change. If a lot of people keep saying the same thing, then chances are I need to go and fix something about the business, the presentation, whatever. Now, if it's a bunch of emotional words, like, I just don't like him, that doesn't help me change anything. That's just somebody's core identity not resonating with somebody else's identity. So let's read some stuff just to show you guys how to handle critique. But also, too, you guys got to realize who is writing this. Let's look at these titles real quick. So out of 9 years of doing this, right, the only posts on Reddit are all bad news posts. Come on. Okay, why is BusyWorks Beats bad? BusyWorks Beats. Let's open that up. BusyWorks Beats scam. Okay, let's open that up. BusyWorks Beats Hermes Synth. Any reviews? That one looks legit, potentially. Am I crazy for saying that I make better beats than BusyWorks Beats? Notice that these are all negative, okay? BusyWorks Beats mixing. We're going to see the fun part of that one. Why do people like BusyWorks or dislike BusyWorks Beats? Notice there's no positive. It's all just negative, echo chamber, anonymous people. Let's see what else. Has anyone here taken BusyWorks Beat full course? Okay, that seems legit. And I'll pick one more. BusyWorks Beats FL Studio course. Let's try one more. Why is BusyWorks Beats no good? Another negative approach. Why is BusyWorks Beats uploading essentially the same exact video every day? Feels like milking views. Again, they're doing this to get attention because they don't know how to get attention. So they look at the person with the attention. They create the opposite to flip the polarity so that they can be the out group to get everybody who's against the main attention. It's a simple competitor behavior. Okay, so I've taken both the BusyWorks Beats course and Servita course. This is my opinion. Funny, this person would compare Simon Servita with BusyWorks Beats. 2 different ways about approaching FL Studio. Completely different ways about approaching FL Studio, actually. And we're not the only ones with courses. So it's funny they put those 2 together. Okay, and we're going to see who posted it. Do you guys trust BusyWorks Beats? Okay. Last one, I said last one 10 minutes ago. What's the problem with BusyWorks Beats? No, all negative. Okay, so let's look at this. First one. This says, why is BusyWorks Beats bad? I've seen some of his videos and he seems okay and the tips are useful too. So there's no context, just why is BusyWorks Beats bad? Mario Pizza Boy says, I watched him back in 2013 to 15 and feel like he got stuck to that time and didn't adapt to the new appealing market. This is a person I can identify by their language. They think they know it all. Guaranteed they think they know it all. Because music theory is not time-based, firstly. And that's what I was teaching when I first started, was music theory. Then I started teaching FL Studio. The FL Studio commands are pretty much the same from FL Studio. What version did we start on? Maybe FL Studio, I forgot the version, maybe 11 or 10 to now. Nothing really changed outside of the visuals and a couple workflow changes. That's the only thing that changed about FL Studio. So even on those core principles of just music theory did not change at all. And FL Studio barely changed. So I could tell this person thinks they know more than they actually know. He's trying now with the really clickbaity shorts. Okay, another hater. Clickbaity shorts, which you have to be hyperbolic on social media to stand out. Will the Kid says his tutorials helped so many producers when they first started out, including me. When they first started out, keywords, including this person. And then they thought they knew more than the actual teacher. And then they stopped listening. So that's what this person has a problem with. I could tell just off the first sentence. His tutorials helped so many producers when they first started out, including me. Sure, the beats he makes in the tutorials aren't that good. It was more about showing you some techniques in music theory in a simple way. I agree. I could show you the meta code, the source code. I could show you the internet, HTML. It's not going to teach a beginner how to make a loop, how to do a variable, how to do namespace. What is the hierarchy of code? How does it run? How to do exceptions? How to read and write files? How to import libraries? You have to go into the microscopic components. You cannot teach people extremely high level stuff as a beginner. This person deleted their account. His beats are straight trash. Sounds like he's stuck always making his first beat ever. If you're trash, your advice is trash. Not really true, because how did we train a million producers around the world? So we're going to work with Drake, Kanye West, Post Malone, Ariana Grande, French Montana, Young Thug, Polo G, Trippie Redd, Lil Baby, J. Cole, Kendrick Lamar. This is what I mean. So it's more about the person than it is about the critique. But still better to steer beginners away from his videos. Why so? He's just not somebody you need to be wasting your time on when multi-platinum artists are on Twitch streaming for free. But are they teaching? That's the difference. All right. I don't know who these people are. Shout out to Try Freeze. All right, let's scroll down. Seen dude trying to push NFTs, and it immediately put me off listening to anything he has to say, because this person is emotional about NFTs. I'll note it that, okay, they didn't like the Web3 stuff. Even myself after Web3, I was like, I don't like some of the Web3 stuff, but I didn't know until after the fact. I honestly believe Web3 was going to transform everything about the music industry as we know it. It just so happens that the money moved to something else. We'll see in the coming future. I'll read one more from this page, and then we'll skim through the rest. Christian, I don't know how to say it. His tutorials are a perfect example for giving you one fish instead of teaching you how to fish. Okay, so you want this person off the first sentence expects me to give everything for free, for one, which they are not entitled to at all. I'm freely giving information. And two, every video would have to be 6 hours to cover the true stuff that I cover in videos. Like I said, a lot of people are speaking from emotion and from a place of non-experience. Until they make tutorials for themselves, for the people that I teach, they won't understand this concept. And I have to be willing as a person on YouTube to say, I need to be okay with these people that think they know everything to be over there. I'd rather serve the 950,000 people who want to be served than to worry about the 50,000 who don't care. I'll wrap this video soon because my son is just gearing up. Okay, but maybe in the next video we'll go through hate comments. On top of, okay, so it says his tutorials are a perfect example for giving you one fish instead of teaching you how to fish. That is the complete opposite of what I actually do. I actually give away free information to make it so that you don't have to rely on any man on the planet. And in fact, I don't owe anybody anything. So on top of that, his beats are trash, and he gives tons of useless or sometimes even straight up wrong advice. What's wrong in music? So I would love to to learn that, because I can tell you the right way to use multi-band compression, the wrong way. And I can tell you genres that succeed from doing it the wrong way and succeed from doing it the right way. There's no right or wrong, firstly. His Mike Dean tutorials don't sound like Mike Dean at all. His Yeet tutorials are full of sounds and drum patterns that Yeet literally never used. So this person wants to copy everything that Yeet has done. Here's a mindset shift for you guys. When you're trying to, work with an artist, for example, they're not trying to copy everything they already did. Like, they're trying to explore something different, so they have some catalog. Drake does not keep making the same thing over and over and over again. In fact, that was one of the critiques, is that BusyWorks Beats does the same thing over and over again. So you have to look forward with a lot of these artists. What can they sound good on? Not just what has happened already and copy and paste. One thing I try to avoid on YouTube specifically is copying beats like note for note. That seems so cheesy. If anything, it should be the producers who made that beat do a beat breakdown. I think the copying the beat, sound for sound, and the beat breakdowns of producers who didn't even make the track, that to me is super cheesy. In fact, it doesn't really teach people how to be creative. But I would rather the people who made the beat break it down, let them get the shine, okay, than people who are just trying to mimic somebody else's track. Counts the notes and chord completely wrong. This is a person who's ignorant. Counts the notes in a chord completely wrong. This is what I said earlier to you guys. Musicians think they know everything. This is 0. Let me make a minor 7th chord for you guys. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 10. So 0, 3, 7, 10. Minor 7th chord. If it's wrong, how did I just make the minor 7th chord? Nobody has that definition. They're going to go, oh, you're skipping scale degrees. Okay, what is a scale? A scale is a sequence of notes that some man made up. There's a lot of scales. It's not all Western music. And then you go, okay, well, you need to count in whole steps and half steps and use scale degrees. I go, okay, what's a half step? A half step is one note from another note. One note to the next note. Okay, what's a whole step? A whole step is 2 notes away from another note. So can I say that a whole step is really 2 and a half step is 1? So +1 +2. That's what I'm doing with the chord codes. And so this is what I mean. uneducated folks speaking emotionally. His industry producer secrets video kind of have unison products vibes for me. Just a bunch of useless stuff that no one needs or that thinks he needs because he thinks he knows everything. So I can go through a lot of comments, but the common denominator I found is that most people think they know everything that they actually don't actually know on any level. Sometimes doing stuff wrong is the right thing to do. I can show you guys with the soft clipper right now. The Osama Sun sound, Xavier, So Bass sound, what's that kid's name? I just did it. Forgot the kid's name. That's a shame. Let me see. Let me pull it up real quick on YouTube. I just did a video not too long ago. Give me 2 seconds. Of course, it's on the second page of YouTube. I'm gonna find this kid's name. Okay, Pretty Fun is his name. Okay, so they use the soft clipper way wrong. Like they distort completely wrong. Okay, but that's the sound that they've created. So therefore it's right for that genre. And anyhow, I don't want to make this video too long. Just want you guys to leave your thoughts below. But it's hilarious to me when producers show their hate, because really it just shows that they don't know anything about themselves truly, or that they're misaligned somewhere else. I could watch somebody with 2 subscribers give me their workflow. I'm not going to correct them. That's their workflow. That's what they believe. Okay, so there's no right or wrong technically. Anyhow, subscribe if you're new. If you want to learn more, go to busyworksbeats.com/premium. We have over 6-day music production courses. We've trained over 1 million producers around the world. So I'm going to work with Drake, Kanye West, Post Malone, Ariana Grande, French Montana, Young Thug, Polo G, Trippie Redd, Lil Baby, J. Cole, Kendrick Lamar. Long list of folks that I'm forgetting. I got to eat because my brain is starting to get slow. All right, y'all. Subscribe if you're new. Peace.